week. And she said, Nina, can I have a quick look at your to-do list? Can you print it off, please? So I did that. I went and printed and handed her the sheet of paper with some tasks written on it, which I had already was working from. And she looked at it and looked fairly quizzical and went, Nina, is that absolutely everything? I said, oh no, that's just the critical things. Everything else is up here. And she said, Nina, I only work with people that write down absolutely everything. Welcome to Micropreneur Accelerator podcast. I'm the Micropreneur Accelerator. My name is Nina Sunday. And welcome to this episode where I'm going to help you get more of the right things done. Now, I'm wondering if sometimes when you go to sleep at night, your head is full of all the little things you have to do. We call it mind churn. And there's a ridiculously easy way to cure that so you fall asleep really quickly, sleep like a baby, and wake up feeling refreshed and not like you've got the world on your shoulders and you're full of overwhelm. Because before I went completely full-time with my business, I took on a part-time project as a conference organizer for a company that I'd done it before in the past. But this time, because it was the second conference, I suggested that we get on board a professional conference organizer who I could liaise with. And I thought I'd probably pick up a few tips, which I did. So we're happily working on this project, preparing an international conference with 400 delegates flying in from around the world. It's trade and investment, a serious financial conference. And I was working with this professional conference organizer, and she would come in once or twice a week, and she said, Nina, can I have a quick look at your to-do list? Can you print it off, please? So I did that. I went and printed and handed her the sheet of paper with some tasks written on it, which I had already was working from. And she looked at it and looked fairly quizzical and went, Nina, is that absolutely everything? I said, oh no, that's just the critical things. Everything else is up here. And she said, Nina, I only work with people that write down absolutely everything. Well, it could have knocked me over with a feather. I'm going, well, I did the last conference. It was very successful. What are you telling me how I should work for? I thought it was micromanaging. So I just replied politely with, oh, you can trust me. I did the last conference and I've got a really good memory. And she did what we call in negotiation the cracked record method. Now, we're talking about if in the old days of the turntable 78 records, if they were cracked, it would repeat. So she was repeating herself. And she said, she just repeated, okay, cut. And all she did was completely repeat herself. She said, Nina, I only work with people that write down absolutely everything. And I realized we'd reached an impasse. And I thought, well, I want to keep her happy. I want to keep her on the project. I guess I've got to do it. So I went away with pen and paper and decided to do what we call a brain dump, which was just write down absolutely everything that I could think of that was on my task list. And the funny thing is, I thought it would take me an hour and would be a complete waste of time, but actually it only took me about 12 or 15 minutes. And then when I looked at it, I thought I would have 120 items on my list. I really only had about 40 plus. And I looked at that piece of paper and I went, gee whiz, that really looks more doable than before. I kind of realized what she was getting at, that if you have everything in one place, in one list, and maybe then organize it in order of priority, you really feel like the monkey is off your back, that you're in charge, you're in control, and it really takes the stress out of things. So she taught me, this conference coordinator taught me to write down absolutely everything. And from then on, I became a convert to that method. Now, interestingly, what I then discovered is that instead of when I went to sleep at night and I went, oh, I've got to send that, I've got to do this, I've got to send that, I've got to reply to that email. It was all those little things, oh, I've got to do this, got to do that. I was more thinking about, if we did this, then we wouldn't have to do that. So that would improve that. So I was thinking about how to improve how to do the role. And I realized, and of course, I fell asleep without any stress whatsoever and woke up in the morning feeling refreshed. And I became there and then a convert to the absolutely everything principle of writing down absolutely every task. Now, the second principle is when you write down every task, record it or rewrite it or list it in order of priority. So the idea is I now have a link on my desktop to just a simple Word document. Some people like Excel spreadsheets. Some people have some other fancy application. That's fine. Whatever floats your boat. But I find that just a simple Word document, because I also subscribe to the principle of having just top 6 items for today. And in any day, depending on, like sometimes there's 2-minute tasks, and here's where you can get caught up. Sometimes you think, oh, it's just a 2-minute task, so I won't bother listing it. But guess what? The 2-minute task gets forgotten. Like I want to register for a live online Zoom meeting, and if I'm not careful, I'll have to pay full price instead of early bird price because I think, oh, it's too simple. I know I have to do it. The email's there in my inbox. But I've actually added it to my task list because even though it's a 2-minute task, unless I'm willing to do it then and there, I record it. Otherwise, I'll think about it when I'm not at my device and vice versa. The other principle around getting everything done in a way that frees your mind to plan, create, strategize, and improve the way you do things is to not turn up at your desk in the morning deciding, what am I going to do today? It's at the end of every day, before you leave or close up for the day, identify the top 6 most important things in order of priority ready for the next day. Because you've got the big picture view at the end of the day for what you have to do next day. Why are you turning up at work and then scratching your head and going, now what was I supposed to do first? I love the fact that even though I'm not really yet immersed in the day, all I have to do is to look at the top item on my list. I don't even need to look at the other items yet. Look at the top item and go, yep, that's what I have to do. And it's a easy slide into the day. So easy entry into the day. So my 2 principles to get more of the right things done is write down absolutely everything so you're not relying on memory for some things. Write down everything in order of priority. And of course, what I like about a Word document is if the priority changes or a new document comes in, I can slot it in according to its new order priority and maybe change things around. And thirdly, at the end of every day, that's when you prepare your list ready for the next day, and your list is definitely in order of priority. And then of course, below that, you can have all the someday maybes, all the nice to-dos as opposed to the must-dos. So that's my secret to getting everything done, which less stress, so I feel like I'm in control and the day is easy. Tell me what you think of this episode. You can email me at nina@ninasunday.com. I've launched the podcasting coaching group. So if you've got an idea in your head about, I'm thinking of doing this, I'm happy to have a 15-minute discovery meeting. And from there, we can decide if you wanted to join the group. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.